Okay, so for those of you who haven't heard about this right now, there's currently a big report going around by Yahoo Sports that actually does suggest that the Minnesota Timberwolves are going to be trying to trade D'Angelo Russell this offseason, and will actually be looking for some teams to, again, try and take him on and try and maybe even bring in some depth to build around Karl Anthony Towns and Anthony Edwards. Something kind of came up in my head where I was thinking a couple years ago when D'Lo was a free agent, I was like praying that the Cavaliers would maybe actually try and trade for him, because this was after that Brooklyn Nets year when D'Lo was in his prime, looked like he could have been the leader of a team, but it just didn't eventuate, and he ended up going to Golden State, and then his career's kind of gone downhill from there. It doesn't seem like he's really the same player at all, and it's really hard to explain. But what he kind of had in Brooklyn, in my opinion, was he was able to go into a system where he didn't necessarily have to play point guard. He could kind of run the two, but he wasn't necessarily dependent on defending the position. He had backup to kind of do so, and he played with another guard that could play make alongside him, but could also play off ball when he really wanted to. But when he got to Golden State, he didn't really have that. Steph was injured, and there was really no off-ball guard in that little time that he was there. I mean, I don't even know who their other guard was when they had all those injuries back then. Then he got to Minnesota, and they tried to see if it could work with Patrick Beverley, but when D'Angelo Russell had the ball, again, Pat Bev wasn't necessarily the greatest off-ball guy, and then again, it just didn't seem to necessarily work out. It was pretty similar with Ricky Rubio, actually. He didn't seem to be too great playing with a dude like him. But on the Cleveland Cavaliers, it makes me wonder, could Garland be a dude that can really bounce off D'Angelo Russell? Could both of them be really good shot creators for this team that could both play, that double guard position where when one has the ball, the other can play off ball, vice versa? And I realistically think it could actually work. The issue surrounding this, though, is do you take D'Angelo Russell over Colin Sexton? Is there really much of a point? Now, in my opinion, as much as I would love D'Angelo Russell on this team, I think Colin Sexton would be the guy to bring back, and I think that's what's going to happen. Again, he didn't look exactly too great on the Cavaliers this season when he played. Only 24% from 3, 16 points per game. But realistically, I genuinely believe that he was just trying to get a feel to this new role he was playing, knowing that he's no longer going to be the point guard really of the team. Again, when he was playing with Garland in their first season or so together, and even their second season, they did share a lot of those point guard duties. But when it was this year, Darius Garland and Ricky Rubio definitely manned that point guard, and Sexton just didn't have the ball as much as he probably wanted to, and he didn't isolate as much as he wanted to as well. In my opinion, D'Angelo Russell is a better fit for Cleveland, but to get D'Angelo Russell, you would probably have to trade up Colin Sexton and maybe something else to make this happen. And I don't really feel like there is a whole lot of a point. Not just that, Sexton might be able to sign a contract that's probably cheaper than what D'Angelo Russell is on right now. And again, it's really up to Colin Sexton how this plays out and how the general managers and management think this is going to be. Because realistically, the question is being asked, can Colin Sexton be an off-ball guard when the Cavaliers need him to be? And then can he transition into being a shot-creating guard when they need him to be? Of course, we've known he's been a shot-creating guard for such a long time. But what happens now when the Cavaliers are all healthy? They've got Garland and Rubio holding the ball, and Sexton can't isolate as much as he wants to. What happens to him then? Does he do well still Does he still only average the 16 points per game that he averaged for the Cavs this year, which was not a good 16 points per game? A lot of those points were scored when the Cavaliers didn't necessarily need them, and this and that. You really just got to ask the question, can Colin Sexton score when the Cavaliers need him to, and can he play off-ball when the Cavaliers need him to? Because I know D'Angelo Russell would be able to do that for the Cavs. I know when the Cavaliers need D'Angelo Russell to play off-ball, he will go play off-ball. But when the Cavaliers need a shot creator, like let's just say Garland has a couple, like he maybe sits out a week, misses 3 or 4 games, and the Cavaliers need a new dude to score 20-something points per game, D'Angelo Russell is the guy that can step into those shoes and I think fill them pretty greatly. Not just that, who is the better defender as well? Is D'Angelo Russell the better defender than Sexton? Because I know if I was to ask a mate or something like that, they would probably say D'Lo just based on his height. But we know the height isn't necessarily always the thing. Patrick Beverley's about 4 inches or so smaller than I think D'Lo is. And Patrick Beverley's a lot better of a defender. Colin Sexton has the grit and grind to be a better defender, although he's just very, very short. A thing in me wonders though, how much would D'Angelo Russell fit on this Cavaliers team? Because as I said, I think he'd be a better fit than Sexton. But can he also pick up that defense and slot into the system like I want him to do? Again, there's also that Ohio State connection where he did spend a lot of time in Ohio, playing for them. And I think a lot of people, it's always been a connection where the people have always wanted to see D'Lo in a Cavs jersey eventually. And I think it makes sense to happen soon. But my question is to you Cavaliers fans who are watching this video, is D'Angelo Russell that much bigger of an upgrade than Colin Sexton? How much more does he fit the system? Is it necessarily worth it? I have a lot of questions and I really don't know. As much as I would love to see D'Lo in a Cavaliers jersey, the mature decision I think would be to bring back Colin Sexton, because you wouldn't have to trade up like something else, I think, to make this happen. You've already got a dude who's already somewhat starting to learn the system, even though he hasn't played in it a whole lot in the new JB system. A dude that can be a reliable shot creator. It's just, there are a lot of questions surrounding this, like, can he play off-ball when the Cavaliers need him to? Can he fill in those, shoes of, a player, like just a good 3-point shooter? Can he consistently knock down those 3-point jumpers on a catch and shoot? Because I don't know if he can. I really don't know if he can. I need to see some more. I do think if Sexton was mature as well, he should not be asking for a max. I don't think he will. I think he'd be looking at like a $20 million to $25 million per year type of deal, which probably makes the most amount of sense. And I think the other thing that would kind of be is Jarrett Allen ended up getting $20 million a year when no one knew how good he was eventually going to become. And I think Colin Sexton has had a better career than what Jarrett Allen has by this age. So when you look at that, if we look at Jarrett Allen, who was in the same position as Sexton this last year, let's just compare them. So let's just say we compare 23-year-old Jarrett Allen or 22-year-old Jarrett Allen, whatever he is, back then, to Sexton now, 22-year-old Sexton. Sexton has obviously accomplished much more than what Allen did at that time. And Allen was still able to get the $20 million per year. So that makes me think Sexton might get like the $22 to $25 million. But can Colin Sexton develop into a star like Jarrett Allen did? Probably not. But it's going to be really hard to see what's going to be going on here. Again, definitely let me know your thoughts and opinions on this down below. Of course, don't forget to subscribe to my IRL/vlogging channel and my gaming channel and this channel for the latest sports content, sports news, this and that. But as I was saying, make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and comment. And I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.